The Summer I Turned Pretty Trilogy, written by international best-selling author Jenny Han and published by Simon and Schuster, includes The Summer I Turned Pretty, It's Not Summer Without You, and We'll Always Have Summer. The trilogy follows a teenage girl named Isabel Conklin and the summers she spends at a residence known as Cousins Beach, with her mother and older brother, Stephen, along with her mother's lifelong best friend, Susannah, and her sons, Conrad and Jeremiah. Belly has always been in love with Conrad, but he hides his feelings for her, and Belly ends up with his younger brother claiming to have forgotten about Conrad. Later in the series, Belly and Jeremiah are about to get married, and then Conrad confesses his feelings for her the day before the big day. Now Belly has to choose between the brother she truly loves, but she is afraid of breaking the other one's heart. The book series has been a national bestseller, with We'll Always Have Summer, the final installment of the series, having been on the bestseller list for over a month. It has been revealed by author Jenny Han that a script is in the works by a very talented screenwriter. Sometime after this, it was officially confirmed that Lionsgate Entertainment have secured the rights of the novels and plan to turn the trilogy into a television series. Books in the series: 1. The Summer I Turned Pretty, 2. It's Not Summer Without You, 3. We'll Always Have Summer. Themes: 1. Coming of age. The Summer I Turned Pretty trilogy shows the transition from childhood into young adulthood from the first novel beginning with Belly as a child to the third novel with Belly going to college and entering adulthood. In the first book of the trilogy, Belly is more cognizant of what her elders, especially Susannah, want from her. However, as the books progress, she deals with bigger and more life-altering situations such as breaking up with Conrad, Susannah's death due to cancer, Jeremiah's betrayal, and ultimately marrying Jeremiah. The novels illustrate the progression from child to adult through the experiences that both Belly and the Fisher boys encounter as they grow into men and women. 2. Independence. Independence is more greatly emphasized throughout the trilogy as Belly gets older and learns to make decisions on her own, disregarding the opinions of authority figures in her life. For instance, in It's Not Summer Without You, Belly explicitly disregards her mother's, Laurel's, wishes and sneaks out of the house in order to go to Cousins to try and convince Conrad to go back to school. Conrad goes to college in this book, and so he experiences a new sense of independence which he has not yet experienced. The impact on those around him, Belly and Jeremiah, is more heavily focused upon rather than Conrad a unregistered trademark's inner thoughts. Although, readers do see the effects that his independent decision-making has on him through the lens of Jeremiah and Belly. He squanders his independence and ends up needing the help of Belly a unregistered trademark's mum, Laurel, in order to save the family a unregistered trademark's home at Corzine a unregistered trademark South Beach. It is a good example of the way in which young adult literature displays that even though it seems as though someone is acting independently and alone, that person will not succeed without the help of those around them. Characters: Isabel Conklin, the main character, narrator, and protagonist in the series. She is the daughter of Laurel and the younger sister of Stephen. She is known to have had a crush on Conrad since she was little, but her relationship with him falls apart at the end of It's Not Summer Without You after the two get together for a short time. She then starts a relationship with his brother, Jeremiah, after he kisses her, making his feelings known to her. In We'll Always Have Summer, which sees the 2 years the couple have been together, she discovers at a frat party that he cheated on her with a girl in his sister's sorority, which not only results in her physically slapping him across the face, but leads her to spend days in bed crying. To prove his regret, he proposes to her, which she hesitantly accepts. However, a result of ongoing fights with her mother, she stays at Cousins Beach. Because of this arrangement, her old feelings for Conrad, who is staying there as well, begin to slowly yet just as strongly resurface. Toward the climax of the novel, Conrad, after discovering his brother's infidelity, confesses his love for her in what is known to be the most dramatic and heart-wrenching scene in the series. Although Belly blows up at his confession, saying he was too late and that they were never anything, her feelings for both brothers are called into question. She and Jeremiah, in the end, call off the wedding and break up for good when realizing that while they had good intentions, They just simply were not meant to be together. It is told in the epilogue that Belly did not hear from Conrad for 2 years before receiving her first handwritten letter from him, which then come each and every month throughout the rest of her college years. Eventually, she begins to stay in contact with him. He then shows up at her college graduation, resulting in their reunion and getting back together as a couple. Conrad proposes a few years later, and the series ends with their marriage. Conrad Fisher, the eldest son of Susannah, and Mr. Fisher, an older brother of Jeremiah. He is known to push away his loved ones aside and to keeping all his emotions and feelings inside, and rarely, if not ever, expresses them. In the first book, his character is something of a jerk to everyone, having spent the summer at the beach getting drunk or locked in his room. It is suspected, though, however, that he has developed feelings for Belly, being shown several times as either overly protective or jealous of guys flirting with her. At the end of the novel, he and Belly get together. However, the relationship is short-lived when Conrad once again slips back into his jerk ways. At the beginning of the second novel, he runs away from college to protect the beach house once he finds out his father intends to sell it. In the end, Laurel shows up and makes a deal with Mr. Fisher that Conrad and Jeremiah can personally keep the house if Conrad returns to college and passes all his exams. The adults leave and Belly and Jeremiah help prep Conrad for his exams the following night and morning. Things seem to go well, but take an abrupt turn for the worse when Conrad walks in on Belly and Jeremiah kissing after Jer finally makes his move on her. In the end, he tells his brother he can have his chance with her, insisting he is over her. In We'll Always Have Summer, which takes place 2 years later, it is revealed that Conrad lied when saying he was over Belly and has always been in love with her and even more scared by the depth of his feelings for her. He hates seeing his brother be with Belly and can't stand the idea of him having a future with his girl, and finds it harder and harder to pretend. He spends time throughout the novel fighting his feelings for Belly and pretending he does not care for her. However, once he discovers at Jeremiah's bachelor party how he cheated on Belly, he is so furious that he sees red and leaves. When Belly comes across him later on, Conrad tells him that Jeremiah cheated on her only to find out that she already knew. Following this, he confesses his long-hidden love for her, begs her not to marry his brother and to be with him, and breaks down into tears. But Belly turns him down, claiming he is just too late, breaking his heart. The next day, Conrad apologizes to Belly because he was too drunk, but Belly knows it isn't true and is furious. After Joe goes missing on his wedding day after discovering that Conrad revealed his feelings for Belly, Conrad finds him at their mother's garden. They fight and Jeremiah soon disowns him as his brother, saying that he was dead to him. Conrad bids his goodbye to Belly, saying it was best for them to have some time apart, and gives her back his infinity necklace, saying it always belonged to her and always will, implying he will always love her. It is told in the epilogue that Conrad did not contact Belly for 2 years before sending her his first handwritten letter, which then come each and every month through the rest of her college years. He then shows up at her college graduation, and they get back together. This all leads up to his marriage proposal 2 years into their relationship. The series ends with Belly marrying Conrad, and the couple starting a new life together. Jeremiah Fisher, at the outset of the series he is the golden boy, the one that appears to be untainted in the eyes of everyone. The stabilizing and supportive force in the family, where Conrad is known to be the turmoil. He is a good friend to Belly and a loving brother to Conrad, and even steps aside as Conrad pursues Belly, even when he came to realize his own feelings for her himself. He reluctantly allows Conrad to have a fair chance with Belly. However, by It's Not Summer Without You, he grows tired of burying his feelings for Belly and abruptly kisses her while sitting in a car with her, who kisses him back, only to be walked in on by Conrad. Despite being near furious of what he caught the two doing, he gives Jeremiah permission to have his own chance with her. In We'll Always Have Summer, his character has gone through an ugly transformation from golden boy to frat boy, even cheating on Belly with the sister sorority slut. He then proposes to Belly to prove his remorse, but is shown to have dramatically changed for the worse. As well, he remains jealous of Conrad and Belly's friendship and even rubs his engagement to Belly in Conrad's face. However, When he discovers that Conrad confessed his feelings for her, he takes off the night before the wedding and fails to show up, worrying everyone. He is found and confronted by Conrad at Susannah's garden. A verbal confrontation about who loved and deserved Belly more descends into a fight, followed by Jeremiah demanding Conrad to finally admit he loves her. After reading a letter for him from their mum, but discovering it was meant for Conrad, he disowns him as his brother. However, in the epilogue of the novel, he is seen at Conrad and Belly's wedding with a new girl, leaving the status of the two brothers' relationship unknown. Susannah Beck Fisher, the rock that everyone seems to cling to. Even in death, her calming force is referenced and used by all as they navigate the different situations in their lives. She dies of cancer between books 1 and 2, but is heavily remembered by her family and friends throughout the course of the remaining series. It is discovered she left letters to the Summer kids in the final book. She is shown to be very friendly, loving and compassionate. Her death hits everyone hard and life without her seems near impossible. It takes everyone almost a year to pull themselves together and form a life without her existence. Mr. Fisher, a man who is known to have his way no matter what it costs or who it hurts. He is Susannah's husband and father of Conrad and Jeremiah. After she dies, he turns to whiskey. He drives Conrad away after Conrad saw how badly he began treating Susannah, such as cheating on her and running away when she got cancer. He tries to sell the summer house in It's Not Summer Without You after she dies and is barely stopped in time by Laurel and Conrad. In the final book, he tries to mend his relationships with his sons and pays for Jeremiah and Belly's wedding, despite not agreeing with them getting married at such a young age. Taylor Jewell, Belly's best friend despite being her polar opposite. Unlike Belly, she is boy crazy and shallow, though By Will Always Have Summer, she grows up and has something wise to say for once. In the first book of the series as seen in flashbacks, she is considered something of a slut as she goes for all three guys almost at once despite telling Belly that girls can't do that. She is seen desperately trying to pair Belly with guys and trying to get her to show some cleave despite her friends' endless protests. She and Belly have a falling out towards the climax of It's Not Summer Without You when she accuses Belly of being a crappy friend, when Belly does not want her to come to a party at the beach house, claiming that she keeps her summer house and her summer boys all to herself and not sharing anything with her, which sparks an argument between the two girls. By Will Always Have Summer, though, they make peace, and Taylor can be seen throughout the course of the book supporting and helping Belly with her wedding. She confronts Conrad after suspecting he said something to Belly after noticing a change in her behavior, and warns him to leave her alone, stating he only hurt her endlessly in the past. Although she admits Belly told her a part of her will always love him and she knows he loves Belly too, only he can stop her from marrying Jeremiah, she asks him to be damn sure he still wants her, Belly, and to be the good guy Belly says he is by letting her go. Laurel Dunn, Belly and Stephen's mother as well as Susannah's best friend. She is rigid and desperate to have the relationship with Belly that her daughter had with her best friend Susannah. She seems to always make the wrong choices as far as Belly is concerned, but her desire to be close to her daughter is prevalent and admirable. The two women come head to head in Will Always Have Summer when Belly and Jeremiah announce their engagement. Laurel is furious, saying the couple are far too young for such a commitment, even going as far as refusing to show up for the wedding, which leaves Belly devastated. After seeing her upset one night at Cousins, Conrad talks to her and manages to convince her to make amends with Belly. It is shown in the final book that the relationship between Conrad and Laurel is very close and even resembles the relationship between Conrad and Susannah. In the epilogue of We'll Always Have Summer it is implied that she helps Belly pick out her wedding dress for her and Conrad's wedding and helped plan it. Stephen Conklin, Belly unregistered trademark S. brother Stephen is a good friend and supportive brother. Though we see little of him, overall, his truthfulness is a springboard for Belly to make difficult but wise decisions. He appears throughout Belly's flashbacks making fun of her and teasing her endlessly, but despite such teasing, is shown to have a protective side of her. He even says to Belly herself in Will Always Have Summer that while Jeremiah was like a brother to him, Belly was his little sister and, she came first, something that surprises her. Cam Cameron, he only appears in The Summer I Turned Pretty as a summer fling of Belly's. It is told that he had a crush on Belly throughout grade school but never had the courage to approach her. He leaves one final voice message for Belly, asking if she wanted to stay in contact after the summer, but if not, it was nice hanging out with her. He is mentioned twice more in the series afterwards as one of Belly's summer memories. References